Global mobility to the employee is having the assistance and the support and the backup to help them with an international move, one of the most stressful undertakings that anybody can experience, and having that support mechanism in place.
As an area of support and strategic expertise that we can provide the business.
The relationship between HR and global mobility is a very important partnership. They're key partnerships. It's a key partnership between global mobility and HR. HR relies on global mobility for guidance, expertise, knowledge. They pretty much cannot do what they do without the global mobility team, and that's something that I'm a part of on a daily basis. So it's a very, very important strategic partnership between the two functions, and I think one that will continue on for many, many years to come. It's just as vital. The partnership with HR is just as vital as to anything else that the global mobility team does.
Consider ourselves as part of the same team, as part of the same company. So we are, regardless if we belong to global mobility or to HR, we know we are part of the same team working towards a common goal. And we consider this as a shared responsibility.
Regretfully, I have to say, it's always like a mystery to them. Because global mobility is pretty complexity in our area, and a lot of time HR communities what they are doing, right? Because global mobility, most of the time you only take care of less than 1% of the employee in the company, and yet this is a crucial role for us to be exist in the company to take care of this 1% of employees. And one good thing is now more and more people recognize it. More and more in the HR community, the HR BP, they recognize it because they have to place the employee from one location to another. But there's more complication in between that we have to. That's why we always need to show our face to them, to introduce ourselves to them, and so we can have that connection and the relationships and build a collaboration.
I am in HR, and so I'm under the HR compliance window, and even though I am what I kindly call myself the me, myself, and I team, meaning that I'm a team of one, I am really a big part of the compliance team, and I'm thought of as, an SME on multiple topics. So, for HR, I've even gotten into other things that are not related to global mobility at all, like safety programs and awareness training and other things that, are just HR specific. And that's great for me because I feel like when you're in an HR organization, you do have the abilities. There's so much that HR does that is, we're like the unheard and unseen heroes, I feel like, in the back sometimes. And a lot of what we do, we like to call it my current job, KTLO, which means keep the lights on. And that is what we do. And so I feel like, being part of HR, you're able to do that. My last job, when I was at Tesla, I was actually in legal and not part of HR. And I felt like in that job, there was a big divide between the legal team and the HR team. And in that group, I would manage just immigration, and there was a coordinator, I would say, kind of lower level person that did relocations. So while we partnered with each other, it wasn't something that was under my umbrella totally. And there was, I should say, like a separation between church and state, if you will, between legal and HR. So I feel like when you're actually in HR, I feel like you could actually do more as a global mobility manager versus if you're in a different department, because you feel like you're part of a bigger team, and that is more supportive versus if you're kind of in a smaller window, it might be a little more difficult.
Global mobility becomes the invisible hand for HR. HR will listen to the business. They'll come to us and say, we want to relocate somebody. We're looking at this assignment. What is your take? So we have to look at the job description. We have to look at the candidate's resume. We have to look at, are there any travel restrictions? Are there any impediment for this to be successful? We have to create a package, and we have to provide that to the business and work within their budget. Sometimes the budget is small, sometimes the budget is large, sometimes there's children, maybe the school year, the timing. There's different elements. We see more and more people don't get married, and to get married under immigration law, you need to be married to bring your partner. So we see different things. We try to look ahead, right? We understand that HR is trying to provide a quick and simple solution to the business, but we have the obligation and the responsibility to make that long-term path. Therefore, as I mentioned, is we become the invisible hand. Do we make the recommendation or not? Or do we listen to all the sides? And then where does the hand land to make the best determination and present the best foot forward for the associate to participate in the Global Mobility Program?
We have the knowledge and the expertise for a number of complex issues in global mobility, and the HR looks to us for that information. We consult with the HR often. We're also engaged with the HR for talent discussions and alignment on talent in terms of candidate selection, but also on returning the candidate back into the organization after the assignment.
Well, the relationship between HR and global mobility is normally very close. I see it as a partnership. We work together. We work together on making sure that the employee has a good relocation process, but also that we have all the relevant documents in place, that we have everything set up, that we have a good onboarding experience, and that basically the employee can have a good start in a new location and everything is being done the way it should be done. So for me, it's absolutely a collaboration. I'm not sitting on an island. HR shouldn't be sitting on an island. We're doing this together.
So I think the relationship between HR and mobility is really critical to any successful mobility program. Mobility can't stand alone and do everything that needs to be done to relocate an assignee. So it really matters to have that relationship and partnership with the HR team. So whether the HR team is handling a majority of the relocation tasks or it's the mobility team, that link is really critical to ensure a smooth transition for the assignee. And we found over the years when there is a missing link between the two teams, the relocation is much less successful. So from the point of even beginning the conversation about an international assignment, it's really critical to partner with both the home location and the host location, HR business partners, and that will really help to ensure that every facet of the assignment as well as the employment is taken care of when an individual is relocating.